So many comic books are spiking this week. People are making investments, spec plays. By the end of this video, you're going to know what you should consider buying and what you shouldn't. Let's talk about the most trending comic books in the world. Number 10 on the list, Amazing Spider-Man, issue number 316. This is the first full cover appearance of Venom, third appearance in the Amazing Spider-Man run. Last 9.8 sold this month in October for $479. Now, you can pick this up for, high average sales around $100, $110. It's been selling around that price, around $500 for that 9.8 recently. I mean, this book's been trending around $400 all year long, and the only change up isn't Venom news. It's that Todd McFarlane's doing a signing. I don't think people should buy this book right now. With the signing deadline to submit your books to CGC in Florida coming December 1st, I think there's going to be a pocket here. We're at the end of the year. Buy this book December, January. If you want it signed, wait till after January, because I expect the signed books to be coming back from CGC. We're going to see way more inventory hit the market, and this 20% climb is going to come back down to reality.
It's a 105% increase in copies sold this week, and it's a very popular Todd McFarlane cover. If the signings are going to cost more through CGC and Todd is signing fewer books, you're going to see people being more selective, which is why there will be more of this book, ASM 300, Batman 423. Those are going to be the ones getting signed and not so many of the Spawn 456s.
Number 9 on the list, G.I. Joe, a Real American Hero, $180 averages, $790 for a CGC 9.8. Do not buy the direct market copies. We know that this book is spiking because of the Energon Universe news. We're going to see a adult animation coming from the Robert Kirkman universe that combines Transformers and G.I. Joe. But notice, we don't see Transformers on these lists right now.
This is the really interesting thing because the G.I. Joe and the Transformers, both the number ones, were massive comic books when I was a kid, and most of us read the heck out of these, so I know we've got a lot of nostalgia driving this. In addition to the Energon universe, it's a 120% increase in copies sold this week. Keep this in mind. If we're seeing the direct copy of G.I. Joe, Real American Hero #1 in a 9.8 selling in the $750 to $900 range, and the newsstand copy isn't selling for that much more, the spread on Transformers is going to shock you because you can get a direct copy in a 9.8 for about $800, $850. The last sale on a newsstand 9.8, over $2,000 and multiple between $2,100 and $2,500. The newsstands are absolutely king, and this G.I. Joe is just way undervalued.
The last G.I. Joe 9.8 newsstand sold for just shy of $200 more for $969. Skip the direct, go for the newsstand, at least right now. Number 8 on the list, Absolute Wonder Woman #1. $15 high average sales, $70 for a CGC 9.8. It's hot. Absolute Universe, all over the trending 20. Now, when I'm looking at this book, if you read it and you like that Zatanna's been incorporated into the run,
sure,
you're excited about Absolute Wonder Woman crossing over with Absolute Batman soon. I feel the hype. It's a cool book to own at a 9.8. I don't think you should buy it at a 9.8. You should just get it raw and get it graded yourself and save $40, $50.
Sure.
However, this is where it gets kind of fun. The first thing that I do is I look at what incentives came out. I mean, there were a ton of variants on Absolute Wonder Woman, especially when you consider retailer variants. So put those aside, look at the incentives. You have the 1 in 25 Panosian, you have the 1 in 50 Jeff DeCal, and then you have this black and white sketch, Jim Lee 1 in 100. Now, that 1 in 100, sure, Jim Lee, that's the one that you would look at, right? You would assume that that's got to be the spec play. That's why it's going for like $130 high average sales. Well, the 1 in 50 Jeff DeCal going for around $30. Interesting. Not even hitting ratio number.
No.
But the 1 in 25 Dan Panosian, mind you, probably one of the artists of the year, hitting $50 for a 1 in 25. Double incentive, way more exists of this book. This is a cover play. I don't think the spec should be just focused on the name Jim Lee. I mean, I personally like the Panosian cover better.
I love Jim Lee as an artist, but these 1 in 100 sketch DC covers are something that DC has been doing since, I don't know, New 52 era, and they're just really not that long-term spec idea. If you want it, if you like the sketch, if you're going to get it signed by Jim, that's absolutely awesome. But really, I have a whole short box of 1 in 100, Jim Lee sketch variants from the new 52, and they're like $30-$40, way below ratio. It just doesn't hold as well as something like this 1 in 25 gorgeous Dan Panosian cover does.
Now, it could be wrong. I mean, I understand the 1 in 100 should be, less in existence. But you can also get the Jim Lee open to order, same cover in color. So I'm looking at the Panosian and I'm understanding why people are paying double ratio.
Right.
Well, speaking of Absolute, at the list at number 7, we have Absolute Batman number 1, $15 high average sales, 180 for a CGC 9.8, an increase of copies sold of 154% after Nick Dracula, the interior artist, showed sketches of like the monstrosity coming, Joker looking like a straight up demon.
Right.
And that's what like this run is, just kind of pushing these characters to a different limit. And it's also pushing people to buy more Absolute titles. I mean, you have the first appearance, the DC
All-In special. Yep.
Also on the trending 20,
Right.
Absolute Wonder Woman, Absolute Martian Manhunter's on the list, but it's all coming from this one title. Here's the thing. I don't think you should buy the 9.8 at $180. This is a book you can go find and grade yourself and now officially save yourself, $120? Here's where it gets a little weird though. When I see this book creep up the way that we have, the first book I go look at is New 52 Batman, right? We're going back to the same writer, Scott Snyder, but with interiors by Greg Capullo. One of the best Batman comic books of all time.
Right.
You can acquire a 9.8. They're selling right now for $130 to $150. Absolute Batman 1 is officially selling for more at a 9.8 than New 52 Batman. But wait, it gets weirder, ladies and gentlemen, because we pulled up the census. New 52 Batman has a total 9.8 count of 2,027.
Yep.
Fitting number. I like that 27 there. Absolute Batman. We haven't talked about it in a month. In 30 days, there's been an increase of 134 9.8s. That is 5 new 9.8s per day.
Wow.
Making the grand total more than Batman New 52 at a staggering 2,550 copies.
I mean, that's shocking. Okay, so yes, increase in copies sold. Yes, people are absolutely reading these Absolute Batman and they want this book. But if there are already 500 more copies on the census in a 12-month period than when Batman number 1 was released in 2011, almost 15 full years ago, that is crazy. Hold off, get it raw. Do not pay $180 for a graded 9.8 of this.
We've been alluding to it all video long. There is a larger list of 20 books found on the Key Collector app that we source these 10 from, and you have access to it right now by going to Key Collector Comics, available for Androids and iPhones. The Trending 20 has books that you likely have, variants and key books that are moving in the marketplace that we're not even going to mention in this video, and you need to know what you have. The best way to make great buying decisions is knowing what's going on, and Key Collector Comics is going to help you with that. Code Tom101 supports the show, but unlocks a free 2-week subscription of the app, so you can get all of the valuable categories, but there is so much stuff that is for free. So try it out, and let's move on to number 6 on the list, because this is what happens when you get zero news about an IP that had option status.
Number 6 on the list, Thundercats number 1 from 1985, $70 average sales, $365 for a CGC 9.8. Back in 2021, we had option news for this. People were excited about the movie. And then a couple years after that, we had the new Dynamite comic book. People were buying this book. Thundercats is just a bunch of great nostalgia. And this is one of the reasons why you might want to pick up this book right now, because the nostalgia is great. The price is down. And with Dynamite's new release, we've got something super cool coming for you Thundercats fans.
I mean, it's not even just Thundercats. I mean, Dynamite has a bunch of really cool IPs, and we love Dynamite, you know, leader in the industry. They have a blind bag that they brought to Kickstarter. It's already broken $15,000. Now, this is an expensive one. It's like $100.
Yep.
But they're promising $250 worth of value in each bag, 5 different items and like collectible cards, sketches and stuff. This is not a plug, mind you. The reason why I wanted to bring this up outside of the Thundercats connection is because, one, I like a lot of these titles. I mean, you got like Powerpuff Girls, Johnny Quest, Space Ghost, Captain Planet, okay? But take a look at some of these covers that they commissioned. It is ridiculous. I'm looking at a Space Ghost Infinity Gauntlet homage, Powerpuff Girls, Days of Future Past homage from X-Men. There's a Space Ghost Johnny Quest Batman homage. I think my favorite, though, Johnny Quest Boys homage. Didn't know I needed it, and now I do. So I'll put the link in the description. Shout out to Dynamite, Nikki B, Vince. Let's move on.
Number 5 on the list. Do we have trickle down from Option News, or is it because it's Halloween? Exquisite Corpses number 1. This book came out earlier this year, $10 average sales, $95 for CGC 9.8. It sounds like such a cool thing where once every 5 years we get all of the best killers together and they fight until there is only one left. Great read, and I think you guys should be in on this.
Yeah, I mean, it's James Tynan the Fourth, you know, and it takes place on Halloween every 5 years. And, you know, today we're filming it on Halloween. Happy Halloween, Russ.
Happy Halloween.
A increase of copies sold of 182%. Is it because the book's so good? Yeah, sure. Is it because Something is Killing the Children got option and everyone's looking at James Tynan titles? Yeah, I mean, that's more of what's going on. Personally, I think that this is a great book to get. If you're specking on the book, go for the 1 in 100 J. Lee cover. I mean, the first thing you do, look at the book, look at the incentives. You know, there's a lot of copies of that cover A that get ordered. Save up and go for something that's a bit more rare. And if you're really excited, then start making cover plays, you know, look at retailer variants, etc. Well, I will also throw out there, the Something is Killing the Children news got me hyped about James Tynan.
Sure.
The first thing that I looked up wasn't Nice House on the Lake. It wasn't Memetic, which is one of my favorite comics of all time. Right. All right. It wasn't Wind, which is excellent. I can totally see that being an animation. And it wasn't Exquisite Corpses. It was Department of freaking Truth. And we're hearing rumors that Department of Truth may be picked up on Apple TV at some point.
Sure.
Maybe. I hope it does, because if that's the case, that's going to be at number 1 soon. And I've mentioned that book has gotten like terribly low in price, unjustifiably. Unjustified, Timothy Oliphant. Moving on to number 4 on the list, Tomb of Dracula, number 10.
Another beautiful book for Halloween, number 4 on the list, Tomb of Dracula, number 10. First appearance of Blade. And
you see the 9/8 sale, dude?
That is the grossest thing I've ever seen. I'm sitting here trying to justify why the price, $8,855 on a Comic Connect auction just back.
It had a little grease pen on the cover.
Oh yeah, it's off-white, white pages. Like, these are things that I'm looking at, and even with it being on Comic Connect, maybe there just weren't as many eyes as people expected, but man, that's like a $6,000 discount on that book. All
right, we got a 300% increase in copies sold. We got some updates.
Yep.
All bad. All right. That last sale was the lowest a 9/8 has gone since 2019, my friend.
That's crazy.
Okay. First off, Jon Stewart actor Aaron Pierre didn't know this. He was attached to Blade. This is what he had to say about Blade in interview this past week. I remember being cast in Blade and feeling elated. But something I learned during that time was that until you step foot on the set, you haven't commenced work. It just took a different creative direction, and I was no longer a part of it. You have to accept that. Well, that's a bummer. I would love to see him. And I wonder who he was going to play in Blade. I have some ideas, but it doesn't matter anymore. Also, Mia Goth, she's been on tour for the Frankenstein film she's in. And remember, she was like supposed to be Lilith or be an antagonist in the Blade movie. Who knows? Well, this is what she had to say. It's for the best that it's taken the time that it has. They want to do it right, which is essentially saying, the last, how long has it been? 6 years that this has been in limbo?
Right.
They've been doing it wrong, right? So this ain't good. But I will say this. On one hand, the Blade movie was supposed to come out before Marvel Zombies, which kind of makes it make sense why they had this Blade Moon Knight team up, crossover character, amalgam character, if you would. And yeah, clearly the animation came out well after they even started producing this movie. We don't know if the movie's going to get produced. Is Mahershala Ali going to even be the lead actor?
Right.
Who knows? But on this list so far, is there another book that would excite you more to own than Tomb 10?
Realistically, no. I think every other book on the list,
absolutely,
I would sell, but Tomb would be the one I'd just put in the safe deposit box and hold, especially at that price.
Number 3 on the list is Southern Bastards number 1. We got Option Status. We got Jason Aaron, who's just a superb writer. All right, this is one of those books that if you don't know, you need to know. Because it's kind of a weird story. You read the synopsis, check out, it's a football coach in a small town, and he's doing crime stuff, but he's the leader of the town because of the football team, and they rely on that to make money. Well, $12 averages, $33 for a CGC 9.8. I think after that sale, it's creeped up. I mean, we saw $50 sales in the last 24 hours, an increase of copies sold of 1,100% because Hulu announced a pilot to be ordered for a potential TV series. So that's a pretty big deal. I mean, getting a pilot is really, really far along the path for success on one of these types of things. I mean, a lot of shows don't even get pilot.
No, they really don't. And Jason Aaron being the author of this very clearly is one of the reasons why we have so much interest behind this.
Dude, Gore, the God Butcher, one of the best Thor runs is
Scalped. I mean, another one of those things that has been, optioned and they didn't really do anything with it. So this is one that I would be a little bit more tempered on. Grab the graphic novel. You can get runs of the 20-issue series for less than $100. You could probably find even the used graphic novels at half-price books for not that much if you just want to read it. This is something that I think everyone does need to read. It was a fantastic, fantastic thing. But if they've only got the episode incoming, I'm really not going to put a whole lot into this until we know that there's actually been picked up and someone's going to be doing the whole series.
I took a look at a lot of the different issues that it came out, like the variants, go for issue 1. Nothing really excited me too much when I saw other variants that came out or even exclusives. But it's a fan favorite book. Like, this is one of those runs that I get recommended from people.
Right.
And I'm kind of surprised by. I'm like, oh yeah, well, it's Jason Aaron. No surprise. Hey, if you like what you're watching, we don't have a Patreon. The best way to support like independent comic book content creation, our show, is to join the Mystery Mail Call. We've been doing it for over 7 years. Every month, every 29 days, I have this task to put together the coolest box for our community members, our diehards who support the show. 4 to 5 comics in each box. We have 2 amazing exclusives guaranteed to every single person. And the one that I'm just so hyped about is our first team up with living legend, Rob freaking Liefeld.
Nice.
Shaft on the cover. We got Youngblood #1 going out to every single person. And I have like under 130 boxes left. ComicTom.com, link in the description. Support what we do. Get yourself some comics. Get yourself some Liefeld. And number 2 on the list, another option announcement out of nowhere. And there's really not much to buy beyond the issue on the list. Number 2, Last Flight Out issue #1. This came out in 2021, $10 average sales. I found a $27 9.8 sale. That just means that, people are trying to hunt for what they can get because there's only 57 copies graded at a 9.8. Here's the synopsis. With just 24 hours left until the last transport arc leaves an uninhabitable Earth, its designer's estranged daughter goes missing, leaving him to try and make amends with her before the end of the world. Option for Apple TV. You got the director Sam Hargrave attached, causing an increase of copies sold of 1,267%. Now, the most exciting part outside of Apple TV, which I think gives me a bit more optimism, if this said Netflix, I'd be like, meh, okay.
Sure.
Well, Sam, the director, he was actually a stunt coordinator for a lot of big budget media stuff. I mean, we got him attached to Dexter, Captain America Civil War, Deadpool 2, Avengers Infinity War, and Endgame. I'll point it out here. I think this is kind of new in the last few years specifically. Just because the book is optioned doesn't mean that it's going to happen. Just because a book is heading to a streaming service doesn't mean it's going to be crazy hot. It depends on which streaming service it is, and it kind of depends on what genre it is. So seeing an Apple TV play for Department of Truth, I'm all in. I'm thinking of shows like Severance and Invasion. If I'm seeing like an alien show on Hulu, I'm getting hyped. But if I see horror on Netflix, probably not going to be this like massive mainstream thing, which brings me to the #1 hottest book in the world. Something is Killing the Children, issue #1. Erica Slaughter, first appearance, James Tynan IV. Is it finally happening? I mean, this has been in option limbo since 2021.
Oh, man. Well, the news we have is good news mostly. We have option news that Blumhouse is actually tied to this to be able to make the movie, as well as work on a live-action movie and an animated television series. Now, Blumhouse is going to make the movie, and it's going to be good. We know that's going to happen. But as far as the animated series, I think that's what's going to hold this back. If this doesn't get made in the next 18 months, it will absolutely, because the animated series is just stuck in limbo.
$325 high average sales. Recent 9.8 went for $950. I was chatting with Davis Rader about this because they're both like really big horror fans.
Yep.
Dude, Blumhouse gets stuff done.
They do.
I mean, like that right there gives me so much more optimism than just the rumors that it would be a just a live action show.
They have made and released Black Phone 1 and 2 since Something is Killing the Children has been optioned. These guys move and they make good stuff.
An increase of copies sold of 1,367%. Let's just kind of go through the books that we look at first in regards to Sick Tick Spec. First, you got to go for the promo. American Libraries Association Conference. You know, James was giving this away, kind of trying to sell the marketing plan, how they were going to make Sick Tick so big. You know, this is before anything was going crazy with James. So that right there, it's the main cover. You get a preview of the book, and it is a tough book to acquire. Then you have issue number 1. Of course, but there are 2 others that you got to know. The first, the second print of issue number 3. Erica Slaughter in the bathtub with her back all, scarred up, getting that like Alex Ross, Bruce Wayne vibes, just out of battle. You can tell that she's been through a lot of stuff. People love that cover, like the diehards know. But then it's got to be Jenny Frison, issue number 6, right?
Yeah, I mean, Jenny Frison did variant covers 1 in 25s for almost every single one of the, first 10 books, give or take, and then more of them that were different ratios. This book was confirmed by Ross Ritchie years ago to be the number 1 lowest print of any Something is Killing the Children book. The 1 in 25, Something is Killing the Children, number 6, Jenny Frison variant.
Which one are you specking on? Is this the time to buy Something is Killing the Children? I mean, with Blumhouse on one side, I'm feeling like maybe the FOMO is real, but on the other side, what if it takes too long and this increase in price is temporary? It's at the end of the year. Let us know what you think. And then, of course, as always,
Geek responsibly.
Enough said.